Howdy y'all, Take here and welcome to another adventure. We're continuing in Final Fantasy XIV, patch 6.1, Endwalker part, I don't know anymore, we're in the 50s at this point. So last we left off, we went to a set of ruins in the Bounty. Underneath the Bounty is like this kind of sea, and in the middle of the sea was a hidden island where Ozaldal III, one of these satraps of Vrtra had buried treasures and riches and lots of gold. Look at all that gold behind me. But another thing is that apparently, legend has it, he collected treasures from other worlds. Only other worlds I know of, other than the ones that Midian decided to off, are the different shards. So when we got here and we defeated the final boss, which was really... it was fun, but really annoying because I couldn't figure it out. Me and my merry band met Vrtra, who is actually Vrtra, and he told us that this big jar thing in the back was trapping something. It was holding something safe. So he's like, instead of telling you what it is, let me show you. And he opened it, and it's kind of hard to see from back here. Super zoom. But it is a fissure into, I think they said the 13th shard. So he trapped a fissure. So it wasn't entirely false that Ozaldal III got treasures from another world. He might have gotten them from the 13th, maybe before the 13th fell. So now we're going to talk to Graha, and we're going to find out more about this. So let's go. And good morning. Void gates and fissures are much the same thing in practice, in the sense that both allow passage between the source and the 13th. The difference in terminology refers to the circumstances of their creation. A fissure is an incidental tear in the fabric between worlds, whereas a void gate is the product of deliberate action. I suspect this is the latter, judging by the elaborate mechanism put in place to control it. To think that our search for material riches would lead to such priceless discovery. The swirling emptiness, it puts me in mind of old friends, not to mention old foes. I want to move my camera to see the fissure! Oh yeah, enter it with them, blah blah blah. Y'shtola, this is your chance. If they made a fissure into the 13th, they might be able to get you to the first, back to Runar. Brother's grief. By the way, got a new picture. We found it while we were cleaning stuff out. Yeah.
I must admit, I am deathly curious to know how a void gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins.
Mm-hmm.
To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory.
Mm-hmm.
An age 5 millennia past, when the Algan Empire sent an invading force to the shores of Merasidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors. With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mercidians resorted to summoning primal entities.
That's the Warring Triad in the middle of Sephiroth. To the side there is Sophia, and to the end is Zervin. I fought them.
In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the Void.
Okay, why is it glitchy? We're gonna give it a second. We'll just give it a minute, maybe. I mean, it is early. It's only 10:30 in the morning. Maybe my computer's just waking up. Peachy. Okay. Nothing we can do but keep going. It won't stop. I need a new computer. Okay, nothing we can do. Let's keep going.
Thus bolstered by icons on one side and Void Scent on the other. The two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss.
Okay. I know this is really important, Varshan, but the quality went down. I bet you it was the internet. Hold on. Let me reset it real quick. See, now it looks way better. It's not pixelated anymore, so it was the internet. All better. I fixed it. I fixed it!
I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen.
Because he probably did. He's a dragon.
Indeed, I did. I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped toward that war-torn land.
Even though he refused to take part in the Dragon Song War.
Along with my sibling, Y'shtola.
Y'shtola, why does that sound familiar?
We dragons are not male or female as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me.
Aww.
I was the last of our brood to hatch, and Y'shtola cared for me where my sire could not. Thus I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Void-sent hordes.
That's probably why he said he wouldn't fight in the Dragon Song War. Y'shtola probably died in Mircidia.
Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends we cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Y'shtola risked her all on a final gamble.
Oh no.
She
tore a fissure.
plunged through the void gate itself to strike at the root of their strength.
Suicide mission.
I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could. But even as I came upon Alag's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her.
He created a new rift to save his basically older sister.
And Y'shtola has been lost to us ever since.
I find I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see mention of such noble sacrifice.
Because no one talked about it.
That does not surprise me. To Allagan eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove through the gate and did not return. For my part, I spent long years searching for the means to reunite with Y'shtola.
And so he created a fissure.
Until I could search no more. Until Alag was dust, and the arts to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon forever lost.
Aww.
Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here, under the control of a harnessed device.
But he can't go through as a dragon.
My discovery came before Radzat was founded. Though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift, it was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planar fissure.
Oh.
It was, however, far too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of our talented alchemists, did matters take a favorable turn.
They made him. They made Varshan. Varshan can fit in the fissure.
Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly they worked to expand the fissure, and after decades of toil,
That's why
it
he
finally
picked that
grew to a
form.
size that a child might pass through.
That's why he picked the form of a child for his vessel, so it could pass through the fissure and be reunited with his family member. That's why he picked
Not
to be a
long ago,
kid.
you told us that you called out to your kin, but Y'shtola's answer was silence. I suspect the conclusion to your tale was not a joyful one.
When he got the scales for the ship.
With hope in my heart, I used a simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her. What I
Aw.
found was a host of Void-sent, clamoring around the opening they had sensed.
And it's been open all
Twas
this
but a
time.
moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more.
The gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering Razat and abandoning your sister. And you chose the latter.
He picked his people over his family.
'Twas not that thy siblings scorned thy call. 'Twas that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass.
Aww.
Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th.
Are we gonna go to the 13th? Because that'd be pretty cool. I want to see what happened to
I
it.
can scarce imagine your pain, yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void. You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness.
I thought our time had come. I remember when Nero turned purple or silent. Hold on, when did we step into the darkness? Was this all the way back in Crystal Tower time? I don't remember. I didn't think our time had come, no. I don't remember Nero turning purple, so I'm just going to say silence. Sure, I'll just nod.
Remember well what happened to Nero, when his wounds allowed the void's corruption to enter his body and twist his ether.
I guess he turned purple.
Had it been allowed to progress much longer, I presume he would have been fully transformed.
Then there is little hope for Y'shtola.
Oh, he thinks that she must have turned then.
Ah, no, I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities. The scales of the first brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome.
Aww.
Of course. With the warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies.
He just gave him hope. Give his
Be
simulacrum.
that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late.
Aww.
And now countless others look to me for guidance and protection.
Aww, he's just gonna abandon his sister. 'Cause she's probably not dead. I bet you she turned. She's like some sort of monster in there.
So when I sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed. That, and to secure the treasure, of course.
Oops, sorry.
I wish only to forget the rest.
Aww. She wants to use it. If they can make a fissure to the 13th, or find a fissure to the 13th, they can make her find a fissure to the 1st. That's all she needs. That's all she needs, and then she can get back. I saw you looking at it questionably. So they managed not only to expand the fissure, but also manipulate it as one might a gate. Astonishing. Is there any chance I could learn more of how this feat was accomplished? I will tell you what I can. First, however, I must return to the High Crucible and arrange to replace the Guardian you so handily destroyed. It will not do to leave the gate undefended. My apologies. We were perhaps a touch zealous in our rush to uncover the vault's secrets. If the constructs can be repaired, we would be happy to offer our assistance. That will not be necessary. Much as I retain spare vessels for myself, we keep duplicate guards on hand for such eventualities. In any case, we should return to Vrtra Han. So he just has another one at the ready. He just has more guardians. Be like, yeah, yeah, we got guardians. So when he said Y'shtola didn't reply to the call, he just meant Y'shtola was stuck in the 13th. So does that mean we're going to be going to the 13th? Because that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool if we're going to the 13th. What would we even find there? Right? That must be where that vision was that we saw. That vision that we saw when we were taking a nap waiting for Tataru, whatever. I bet you that was the 13th, and maybe Xenos' avatar came through a fissure and made a deal with Xenos or something to give him all that power, but it made that connection to the 13th so he could be free. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're fighting Xenos' avatar. See, Xenos always comes back. Oh, he's so annoying. Even his avatar. If that's true. The High Crucible. Oh, where is my NPCs today? To do the quest. Hello, Vashon. Gosh, the music here is so good. I promise we will discuss the Void Gate further, but first I must attend to the matter of the Vault Sentinels. As your instruments have no doubt informed you, the Kapakulu has been reduced to so much scrap. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it's conveyed to its post along with some few lesser constructs. Was it the tomb robbers? Fiends born at the tower saw. My sisters did not tell me the blasphemy rose free. No, it was me. Oh no, he's doing the nervous thing. He's doing the nervous thing. Oops. Why such guilty faces? Surely it wasn't you who's responsible for the... Oh. Well, the details aren't important. I shall see it done immediately. Yes, it was the heroes of the shard. The heroes of the source. That may have destroyed it. And with that, the vault will soon be secure once more. Now I believe you had questions. Quite a few, in fact, but I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes? Indeed, which is why I saw it sealed with an alchemically forged lock and warded it with my magic. Such power must not fall into the wrong hands. Okay, that's why only he can open it. In truth, the primary reason for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unspeakable horrors. That said, in its current state, it would admit only the lowliest of void sin. And from this side, no man would be able to pass through. No man. I should think Alphna would fit, given a firm enough push. Physical size is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density of his soul in transit. And yet, you succeeded in expanding the diminutive portal and sending your simulacrum to the 13th. Thanks to my brilliant alchemist. I should have destroyed the anomaly when I found it, but instead I bade them devise a means of controlling it. That guy behind there looks like he's having a lot of fun with those vials. After much experimentation, they accomplished the impossible. A method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. But the process has long since been forgotten. Once I had given up searching for Azdaja, I already forgot it. Oh, I'm such a terrible person. There was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous knowledge. Thus has the gate laid dormant for years uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simple thanks to the Crystal Tower. So it was during the Crystal Tower. Oh yeah, because that's when we went to the World of Darkness. That's the third phase. Big green lady. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open the Void Gate. One bound to a covenant made with a cloud of darkness. Once the sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken and the doorway severed from the connection to the void. Well, we can still run it, so... Theoretically, it should be possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new path to another void sin. By such, deals usually end in betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain understanding of the Bounty Gate. Mayhaps you could resume the search for your sister. As I've already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place and my duty is here now. She wants to get back to Runar. I mean to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? Money. It was all Estinian's idea. No, to see if the legends were true. I wanted to see if you really did have wealth and treasures from another world, and he did. So you've seen the fabulous wealth from the stories is quite real, if not its rumored origin, but I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. I've been adding to the trove for years, little by little. By the time it has come to spend it, that I might alleviate my people's suffering. And we are of one mind. We had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? Yeah, we were going to give it to those who were affected. Oh, those cogs are turning in her head. Your Excellency, would you object if I to conduct a closer examination of the gate? I would make no attempt to open it, of course. I owe you and yours a debt that can never be repaid. Whatever boon you ask, you shall have it. You are most generous. I shall take full advantage of your permission. Would that I could join thee in thy study, but the Laportes will be anxious to receive my report. I beg my leave of you. And I must be off to Charlene as well. Mistress Crowell is eager to speak to you about the request, so please come back to the annex as soon as you are able. Farewell for now. So everyone's going off their merry way. Estinian wants to still split the riches. And in typical dragon fashion, Vrtra has been collecting gold and hoarding it. We can discuss my findings once I return. You'll not be rid of me so easily. Oh, our little adventure is over. Aww. Well, that was a short-lived adventure. It was a fun adventure, but it was short-lived. You may now undertake Mists of the Realm! I did it! I unlocked it! We're doing the raid! Yes! Oh, that's all I wanted. I just wanted the raid. I want the raid. The difficult part in all this will be deciding how best to put these riches to use. Will you lend me your assistance to these deliberations? I got too excited. Anything to make up for the constructs we broke. We broke your toys. And think of your employment as recompense. Serve me as a guest advisor, and I will consider the broken contracts paid in full. Take and I are in this together. I will follow her example. Oops! What broke it? Ooh, cutscene! I got Mists of the Realm. Meanwhile, elsewhere. They don't even tell you where. It's the 13th. We're back in the 13th. Well, this is definitely a falling hazard. Council of Evil. Ice, air. There's fire and water on the other side. Darkness. I'll take a picture of that. So this gotta be the new villain. Villains. Those are his lackeys. I sensed the breaching of the gate, but it was not instigated from this side. 'Twas thrown open from the other. Throne of earth. Throne of fire. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. Or more pressing matters at hand. Opportunity is upon us, the coming of which we have awaited for nigh 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip our grasp. Air? Seems to be going over. Yep. Wind. Yet we must not underestimate she who bested the cloud of darkness. That's me. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feasible wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Bah, let her come. I will drown the world and watch the fleshlings grasp for breath in her final moments. These like evil versions of the summons or something? Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Oh, this is a good picture. Sorry, evil guy, hold on a second. Thank you. Think back on our struggles beneath the sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. Do you even have a face? Yeah, what? 'Tis time we set the war in motion and win redemption for our star. Are we about to go to war with the 13th? Oh, there's more! Okay. Let's do a little bit more story and then we're gonna jump into Mists of the Realm. Sharing the wealth. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, they must first determine which groups would benefit most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the satrap directly, so I would ask you to act in my stead. Especially since everyone knows he's a satrap. Heika, you are to visit Akyali and Yedlibmad. Speak with Matsya and his people and listen to their grievances. Estinian, I bid you do the same at Palaka's stand. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant's Gall grounds. Okay. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we reconvene at Megaduda. Mega House. Okay. To Akyali! Matsya! Right where I left you. Oh, allergies. Oh, Teheka, I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat then? I have, Eeyore. Thank you. It was very helpful, but now we need your help. Where is money needed? Anything the village desperately needs. Well, I suppose Kalzal's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best we can. So you need a buyer. We need to reopen the economy. Okay. Yedlibmad. Shouldn't they have had the Yedlibmad people first, since I have to go there first? But whatever. Ooh! Ooh! Ah! Ah! Oof! Where are you? Person! Person? Person! Person! Greetings and welcome, traveler. Is this your first visit to Thavnir? Then you must try my special Amarlassi. Refreshing zest cannot be beat. You're the one who tried to swindle Estinian. What could such a wonder cost you, I wonder? Normally, you part with 3 bottles at a generous price of 19,800 gil, but for you, I'm willing to go as low as 10,000. You'd be practically stealing it. I am not Estinian. Estinian, who is... Ah! You're the one who is waiting with the spear-toting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we're still stifling through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back in the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices, I tell you. If I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the streets. So they need help getting trade back. Ever since the tower came, it destroyed their trade. Can I help you with anything, guild staffer? How fair is support? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more, now that the danger has passed, certainly. But no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add to that the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kalzal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done. God's rest his soul. Okay, let's go back to Megaduda. So it's sounding like we're going to be using a lot of these funds to maybe buy fishing boats, because a lot of them have sold them, get more merchants, and kind of just get the economy booming again. That's what it sounds like. Megaduda. Megaduda. I'm getting wet. Farshan, why is it raining? Make it stop. Let's go inside and dry. Oh. My advisor's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across Allen in a fraction of the time. Be that it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least. And there are a few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. That's true. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palakistan were unanimous in their reply. They're surviving. Same. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in. They persevered with the assistance from Yedlibmad. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like. And I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs for the most part. Palakistan has weathered disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skull to a foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thavnir has been lightened indeed. Our nation is small and isolated. Its prosperity depends on the steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles in the flow of trade when we begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn of Akhyali and Yalaman? Well, they need merchants. The trade is gone. The ports are dead. They need trade. I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied sailors in Yalaman. I am reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea, and the beast sunk his vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over. So many lives lost. Him. So his family, he comes from a line of fishermen. Give him a job. Then provide for his sister. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome. But we will not. Take Estinian. I will consider the perspectives you've brought me and devise a plan to help my people confront their adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries. Are you going to address them in Vrtra form? Come, we shall give you ships. Yeah, dragon form. I love the elephants.
I thank you for your attendance.
You're welcome.
The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadal's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need.
Oh, so he sent his own people down to get the gold.
And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul.
Respect. I loved Ahawan, and I was so sad what happened to him. Oh my god. That broke me.
Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly.
Oops. Let me, give me just a second. Moving on.
Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware.
You can see where he willingly had his scales ripped off. That's so terrible. Look at his entire side of his body. That's where he willingly had scales ripped off to save his people.
But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
I love their uniforms.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
Like the boy.
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. The simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed. One which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Well, I know in Ul'dah, because I think it was part of a Little Ladies' Day event, they have an orphanage. In the city, the Sultana pays for it. Taxes. Levy them on trade profits to exchange for your investment. It takes a village. It does take a village. Taxes. Levy them on trade profits in exchange for your investment. No, it takes a village. You don't want to tax them. I mean, they're already having a hard time, right? This is too difficult. It takes a village. Because I think there's an orphanage in Ul'dah. It was part of Little Ladies' Day.
Of course. We must all look out for one another.
Yes. Just like how Matsya is looking after the
Let
baby.
us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage.
Because I think the Sultana pays for the orphanage in Ul'dah. They said it was a Little Ladies' Day event.
Such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
Ahoan? Something with Khazal seems appropriate. Why not on one from successful merchants? Okay, well, I would have said Ahoan, but Khazal. He would have done the same thing.
A fitting candidate. Khazal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores.
Agreed.
Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
Anyone who objects will answer to me.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Khazal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well.
He was the first to change before
Isn't
he
that
even
right,
knew.
men?
Aye.
This bodes well for that boy. Murad, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Yeah. Him and his sister can live in peace.
Then let it be done.
Aww.
Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Khazal Foundation.
Aww.
Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor.
We just helped Radzahan, man. Aww. Oh, that's so cute. I say cute, but it's good. This is really good.
Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow.
Mm-hmm.
Reminded of Ishgard.
Yeah. Another city living in prosperity. Ooh, foods. Tenacity, vitality, determination. Nope. Piety. Nope. Direct hit, vitality, determination. Maybe. Yep, this one. I didn't even see what it was called. I don't even know what food I just obtained. Psychon Bava Voice. Veteran Radiant. Bridging the Rift. Okay. Thank you for putting forth Khazal's name. Those whose lives he enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon Y'shtola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood, thank you. Y'shtola must have finished her studies at the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? Yes! I will go with you. You can walk around his city as Varshan. I thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Ahawan assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done. And I am curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish. Allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. Ah, let's go, Ahawan. I love that this society has been so welcoming of Vrtra. You know, it could have ended terribly, like what happened in Ishgard. Okie dokie. Faster! Hello, Y'shtola. Now tell me what you found. I forgot to click. Okay, Y'shtola, what secrets did you find about the gate?
Right, here we all are.
Yes.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vrtra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them.
True.
Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first.
I floated through space. I saw fragments of memories.
You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world.
Yeah.
The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway.
Yeah, I saw memories of people long past.
Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first.
True.
The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
And Gra has amazing magic.
Then what of the many voids sent found in the source? Who guides them here and how?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. They have to travel through the same thing I do.
Question.
I didn't even think about that before. All the voids had to come through those gates have to come through somehow. We had to go through because we had like a beacon. How do they come through? Something's sending them through. The evil guy in the armor.
Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power. To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate.
Yeah.
The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact.
So the summoners are the beacon.
Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner.
I do not like the look of the 13th. Well, I do, but don't. See, that gate's too small.
Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first.
So the gargoyles we're fighting aren't actual gargoyles, they're just souls of gargoyles. So they just die?
And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th.
Oh my gosh. So they're not saying actual gargoyles.
Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Huh. Okay.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
So is your guiding agent your
When
sister?
the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
Because the 13th wasn't destroyed properly.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
You gonna try to do it yourself?
No, the danger is too great.
She's gonna try to traverse it herself.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
She wants to travel to the 13th to see how it works.
You're not listening to my tale. Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I got this, Varshan. You don't have to worry about a thing. I can defend myself.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death.
So bring
But
me
if I were
along.
to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness. Well, I imagine my chances
Oh, yeah.
would be much improved.
They would be. We blow up everything. Let's do it. Count me in. We're gonna get her back to Runar.
I had a feeling you might say that.
You know it. So we're gonna go through ourselves, or we're gonna go through with Simulcrums?
Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
Pretty please, can you open it so we can go on another adventure?
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Radzatan. assuming we managed to expand the portal in the first place.
Y'shtola, this is
You
dangerous.
have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daemir was overseeing the project.
Daemir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
We're gonna go to the
I did
13th.
not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
They made a void scent.
A man-made void scent.
What?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daemir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
Aw.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
The Numenon. The restricted sections of the Numenon, with Graha's favorite place to sneak around. Graha's favorite place to sneak around.
Indeed. Numenon's restricted stacks may very well hold a copy.
They better let me in. I saved the star. I saved Charlene. They better let me read those restricted things.
In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Agreed. Where are you going?
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelf. I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Okay. Would you like to come with us?
Let us be on our way as well.
This might let us find your sister.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
If we can figure out how this void works, you can go back to the 13th as your dragon form and look for your sister. Isn't that what you want? Oh, we're going long. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and stop there for now. We are going pretty long on this. This is good. This is really good. So, we know how void gates work. Someone has to call the void scent from the other side. So someone on our side has to summon it and open a void gate. And if the void gate isn't big enough for a physical thing to come through like an imp, it just takes their soul, like Graha accidentally took the souls in Shadowbringers, and brings them over. So if we can expand the gate and go through ourselves, Y'shtola might be able to figure out how the transport works. In turn, find out how to get back to the first, to Runar. Okay, Mr. Bye. So we're going to go ahead and stop there for now because I am running a little over. But this is really good. So we're going to go to Charlene now and see if there's some old texts about the Void Gate there, because apparently they did submit some research papers, just like you would at the, you know, the Office of the Architect back in Hades time. We're going to go ahead and find that out, and we're going to see if we can get this Void Gate to work. But not right now. We'll get right to it. Until next time then, thanks for watching, y'all. Bye-bye.